What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Mommy Confessions. My name is ThatChickAngel, also known as Angel Akita Moore, and I'm the host of this show slash podcast. And I am so excited today because I have on none other than Miss Yvette Henry. How you doing, girl?
Ew, I'm good.
Good. We apparently had been admiring each other from afar, but I was able to pounce first and asked her to come on to Mommy Confessions. Mommy Confessions, if you all don't know, if this is your first time tuning in, first of all, thank you, girl. How you doing? Or sir, whoever's over here, I appreciate the love. Um, but Mommy Confessions is a honest, just truthful conversation about motherhood, womanhood, where we can just kind of be in a judgment free zone and just talk about what's on our heart, and either it'll be inspiring or it'll be funny, but either way, it's going to be real. So today, before we jump into the topic and you all learn a little bit about Miss Henry, you all know I always do a confession to start off. We just gonna lay our hearts bare and tell the truth and nothing but the truth. So I'll go first so
Okay.
that you can, I'll set a somewhat of a tone, but you can change the tone. It don't even matter.
Okay.
My confession is I am tired. I am fully and utterly exhausted. And I'm not sure. I can't completely, well, no, some of it is to blame with everything that's going on. COVID, Black Lives Matter, with George Floyd. And then some of it is just my life. You know what I'm saying? Like all the things that I feel like are on my plate are draining me. Like, I feel like a battery that's on its last cell, and I'm trying to figure out where my charging cord is. I'm trying to figure out where my charger is, and I
Yeah.
haven't found it yet. So I'm trying to figure that out because I know none of the situations are going to change anytime soon. So I'm like, well, okay, well, if we gotta keep going at this pace, what are we gonna do to recharge? So my confession is I'm tired, and I accept that I'm tired. I'm not trying to pretend that I'm not, but I am trying to figure out, like, so how am I gonna recharge? What's the answer to this? I have not figured it out. And then even I don't know if this ever happens to you, Yvette. Even
Mhm.
when I feel like, all right, making some headway, then I realize, oh no, you remember that one thing too? You'd have forgot about that. That still needs to happen. I'm like, God, God. So, anyways, that's my confession. What's your confession today?
um, okay, so a little bit of background knowledge. Hold on real quick because I have found the remote to the fan and I'm hot.
Oh, girl, listen, turn it on.
Okay, here we go. Uh, okay, so a little bit of background knowledge is uh 3 years ago, my husband and I kind of traded positions as a stay at home or the full time parent because my husband kind of works from home or whatever. But before that, he was a stay-at-home parent, and when we had two boys,
Mm-hmm.
and so there would be times when I'd be at work and I'd come home and I'd kind of see the condition of the home, and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, so this is what happened today, or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
In the back of my mind, I'm full on judging him and whatever happened in the day. I'm just
Right.
like, man, this is ridiculous. But when I found out that I was pregnant with my daughter, I was like, hey, I'm quitting my job and I'm coming home to like be the stay-at-home parent.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking that I was gonna kill it. I was gonna do a much better job than him. Like the house would not look like it looked when I came home from work and all kinds of things. I was just whatever. But my confession is that I actually think that he is a better stay-at-home parent.
Really? Really? Now, is it only solely based on what the house looks like at the end of the day?
No, 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 no. It's based on I don't even know how to explain it,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess, and I don't know, sometimes I feel sorry for myself. Can I have a pity party real quick?
Uh-huh.
Because
Come on, give it to us. We want the party. We want the pity and
I
the party.
feel like most moms or most stay-at-home parents start with like one kid and then they gradually like they get a routine and a thing, and then they add another kid, and then they have
Uh-huh.
to like adjust or whatever. But I came in at 3 kids,
Yeah.
like 2 kids and a newborn, and homeschooling.
Right.
You know, we were homeschooling before COVID, and then now I just added a fourth one to the mix, and it's kind of like, oh shoot, like
Right.
what the heck am I doing? Like I have no clue. And so, and then like there are times when he'll like make suggestions, and sometimes it's just I think it's his ability not to like care as much.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
And for me, I have like higher expectations and standards, and so if I'm not meeting those, I like get all cray cray.
Uh-huh.
But his standards are a little bit lower, so he just kind of like it is what it is. Like they live, they survive the
Right.
day.
That's a lot
But
of dudes.
feel like his attitude towards it, I guess, helps makes him the better stay-at-home parent versus my.
Mm.
I don't know. I just feel like he's better at it. He would
You,
be better.
do you think he would say the same thing? Do you think he would be like, "Yeah, I probably got it," or would he be like, "No, if it's got this hands down"?
No, I don't know, man. I think he probably would think he has better strategies than I do.
Mm.
Sure.
Hmm. Yeah. No, my husband definitely, my house is a wreck. Like I don't know when it's had a deep clean because I didn't do it. And he's always like, whenever you go out of town, I'm able to get this house clean. And I'm like, so why aren't you doing it when I'm in town? Because I'm not going to be the one to do it. Like I
Yeah.
realized as much as I want to be that person,
Hmm.
I'm not.
Hmm.
I'm not. And I know for him, he would love for me to be that person. But again, I am not. And I'm like, you're the person. So if you, as the person, are not going to do it, it's okay because I'm not either.
Yeah.
I'm
And you
not.
know what? I feel like I'm like starting to kind of, to a certain extent, I'm starting to relax a little
Mm-hmm.
bit more. Like since everything's happened with, what's happening in society right now, I have not been able to like school the kids.
Like, yeah,
Usually
me.
I would be beating myself up about that, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, they're beyond grade level.
Well,
So
that's great.
I mean, school's not out until June 11th over here, but it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah. Yeah, no, the twins, I haven't done anything with them since last Thursday, I want to say. And I was going to do something today, and I was just like, y'all are fine.
yeah,
We listen, you all will keep learning over the summer then, but I just ain't even got it. I don't have it. That's what I'm starting at. Okay, so jumping into the topic of the day, I wanted to have you on here because you're one of the few people, like most people now. I think you're a lot younger than me. I think you are pretty young. You're.
my birthday's tomorrow. I'll
I
be
got you the day before your birthday. What's good?
yeah.
Are you one of the people that like I don't like to tell people my birthday, my age, excuse me.
No, I'll be 33.
That's what I was going to guess. Yes.
It's my Jesus year.
Yes, it is your Jesus year. Come on and walk with him. Uh, I feel like I'm like a generation ahead of you, but people in our generation, they think 2 children is like, you did it. Stop. 3 children, you are being, a star student. You're doing extra credit.
Yeah.
4 kids, people think you're just asking for punishment. You don't like you don't like your life. And so you're just burdening yourself by having more kids. So while I do have friends or know people that have even more kids than what we have, I was like, oh, here's somebody on social media that has 4 whole kids that is still alive that seems relatively happy on social, like you're always smiling.
I don't know if I always am, but yeah.
You're like, I mean, when they snap the picture, I am. But I was like, oh, I want to have her on to talk about that and also like the perceptions of
Mm.
other people about, because there aren't, I don't know about you, do you have a lot of friends in your close knit circle that have as many children as you?
Actually, I kind of do.
You do? Do you have quite a few?
I mean, yeah, actually. Like, well, in my close knit, I guess it's like, I don't know, it ranges from one to four, pretty much.
Okay. So
I think,
there's
one other couple that has four,
mm-hmm.
but we also have like our kids' godparents have seven girls.
Yeah, so that's a whole nother deal of children. That is just that's a whole nother level. But before we jump into that, let's give some background on you. So, because you're not just a mother of four, you are Yvette. So tell us a little bit about Yvette.
I don't know. From Southern California, uh,
Mm-hmm.
born and raised on a playground. I spent most of my days.
One of
Uh,
the few that is not a transplant. Or you are you from like the San
I
Diego area?
Yeah, my parents are from South Carolina, but my dad was in the military, and so he
Mm-hmm.
got stationed in Oceanside,
Oh
California.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, I grew up in Oceanside. We live like one town over from Oceanside right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to college in San Diego.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I've been
That's
here
what you
my
know.
whole life, and then I fell in love with a guy from Baltimore who thinks that California is like heaven on earth and doesn't want to be anywhere. Because I'm like,
I
let's move. Let's get
I
out of here.
I did not know he was from Baltimore. That's where I was born.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yes, was Baltimore. So yeah, yeah, Baltimore to San Diego. That is, he is in a slice of heaven. In comparison, you're like, no, let's leave. He's like, and why?
Yeah,
Why?
pretty much.
And
And so
so,
yeah.
go
So
ahead.
I grew up here. I attended college. I got my degree in mathematics, became a math teacher, um, got married. Well, I actually got married at the same time that like the first year of teaching was my first year of marriage. So that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had our first kid 3 years into marriage. Not really even 3 years. It was the third year,
Uh-huh.
but whatever. And
Uh-huh.
then we've had four kids since. And yeah, like I taught for 7 years. I've been at home as a full time stay at home mom for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Before I became a stay at home parent, kind of like I mentioned before, my husband was a stay at home parent.
Mm-hmm.
So when he was home, he was making videos about what it was like being a stay at home parent. And so
Mm-hmm.
those videos he put up on YouTube, and our channel started, our channel, I
It's
take on
y'all's channel. That's good
our
for you.
channel
Mm-hmm.
started to grow. And now we full time put our lives out there for people to engage with. We consider ourselves the proof of what a healthy Black family looks like.
Come on, the proof.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
I
it's
love
possible.
it.
We're not perfect, but we are, we're trying. We're not
No,
trying
we,
for perfection, but we're just,
yeah.
trying to be healthy.
Um, that's funny that you said you majored in math. I almost majored in math.
Did you?
Yeah, and then I was like, I don't want to teach this though. That's what I was like. It was one of those subjects that I was like, I am really good at this. Like, I am very good at this. I understand it. English, not so much. Didn't
Yeah.
really care about social studies. I was
Yeah.
like, but math, I was like, there is a definitive answer.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then, yeah, no, I said I can't. So I commend you for following it through in teaching. Girl, no. So did you all decide to have four children, or was it like the Lord blesses us with another child? We got another child.
It's funny because before we got married, that was the number. It was four kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but after we got married, my husband started to sing a different tune. And so,
Uh-huh.
like, after we had our two kids, he was kind of like, I'm cool. Like, I'm cool. But I was like, no, I need a daughter. Like, we have to have a daughter. And so we need to do this. We need this.
Uh-huh.
And so
Uh-huh.
our first two kids the timing of them was not planned. Our last two kids were planned.
Mm-hmm.
But like I really just wanted a daughter. And so I probably would have tried until 5 to
Oh,
get her.
see.
I don't know, we'll see. But I mean we won't see because I got her. But so I got her third try. And then like she started to get to an age where I was seeing my older two kids really kind of like grow this bond
Uh-huh.
that I wanted for her to have. And so I was
Okay.
like, let's take a gamble and like, have a fourth kid to
Mm.
see. And I don't think that either of us had any kind of resolve about being done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I think we both were kind of like, we're not done. Like we didn't have like a settled spirit about like, okay, we're good.
So y'all
So
were both on one accord.
we were on one. Well, he probably. Okay, so we were trying. And then there was this one, he actually got it on video because I was like, okay, babe, tonight's the night. Like, this is the last time. Like, we'll try this night. And if we don't get pregnant, then okay, we'll stop trying or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I believe that that was the day.
That you got pregnant.
Like, because that was the last time it was like, okay, this is it. We're trying. And then I ended up pregnant with Uzi.
So Uzi and your daughter are almost two years apart, right? They're like
Yeah.
2 years. Okay.
Yeah.
See, you're lucky because you got your girl. That's why I kept going, was because I was needing a girl, but I was like, I will not go for this fifth. I was like, the Lord is making it very clear. He's saying, no, daughter, you will not have a daughter. So you just mentioned something, and I
Uh-huh.
hope you don't mind me asking. Are you all in y'all settled in your spirit on four, or do y'all see your family blossoming more from here?
We've been tossing the idea of adoption around.
Mm.
I think that we are settled on me not getting pregnant again for sure.
Uh-huh.
Um, but we have tossed the idea of adoption around. I don't know. I just like even from before marriage, I've had a heart for. I think it's because I did like a research paper on Black children in like
Uh-huh.
the foster care system, and I'm
Yeah,
like, ugh, like there's not enough Black people adopting Black children,
you're
and
right.
there's a lot of history based on that because grandmothers are raising Black children and whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
for me, I'm starting to notice like adopting a Black child trending.
Mm.
So and it's not the case for everyone,
Yeah,
but I just want to see more of us bringing in
bring it in.
of color to our own homes.
Yeah, no, I was saying this on my Instagram live. There was a whole conversation about, and you probably have heard of the topic matter of an influencer who had adopted but out of the country and then rehomed the child. And so we were just talking about that situation, but more so also talking about, I was talking about adoption, and then and for me, I can't imagine bringing in another boy. I have enough testosterone into this house. truly truly do. And then also just I would never want to, this is so off topic, but we went here in conversation, the conversation's chill. I would never want to be in that situation of ever making a child not feel as loved as my biological, you know what I'm saying, or even having the option to return a child to someone else, like,
Yeah,
and this is not even like judgment on that. I don't know that woman, I don't know her situation. This was just me saying what I would be afraid of is not being able to show the same amount of love to a child that I didn't birth, or if
yeah,
the situation got so difficult that the thought of, okay, I'm going to have to rehome you because I don't have the bandwidth to give you the love that you need. So
yeah,
I commend anybody that's like, no, I can do it. And I actually have quite a few friends that have adopted and have adopted Black children, which is also, like you said, it's not as you would wish and hope and think that it would be easier for people to adopt children that are within the United States that are plentiful,
yeah.
but it's unfortunate that it's not. But like I said, I digress. So when you all decided to have the fourth, what was the reaction of the people around you all that weren't like, obviously followers are always excited when there's a baby come.
They really are.
They love it.
Ew.
I
Oh
don't
my
know what that is. They love it. They love it.
God, that is
They
so true.
they are like, oh, come on, have
You want
get
to know
pregnant.
why it is? I think I know why it is. I think it's because they aren't the ones babysitting or like, you know what I mean? Because your family and friends would be like, well, who's gonna watch these kids when y'all trying to go out? Or like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Because a lot of
right.
our people were like, do you guys know how kids are made? Like by now you should know, right? Do you
Right.
guys know? I'm like, well, you know.
Yes, yes. So yeah, what was the response to your from your like your people, your like actual your family, your friends when y'all were like, we going for number four?
I don't know if we told anyone
Mm.
that we were trying for
Oh, so
number.
that video came out after you all got
Which video?
pregnant? The one where you said this is the last
Yeah.
time.
That was like
Okay.
a part of the storyline for that. Glenn always is filming stuff and he'll like plug it in for later.
He's good.
So like, yeah.
Again, you all have I can't even. My brain. I just go ahead. I'm over here thinking about how you all stuff looks, and I'm like the amount because I produce stuff. The amount of planning that had to go into that being executed like that, it hurts my brain. But yes, because
He calls them story loops. So he'll just film moments and he'll have footage for months at a time. And then there'll be a story loop that it fits in, and then he'll plug it in. So it's not like, yeah, I don't know. He's a really good storyteller.
he is no, truly, truly. So yeah, your family and friends though were so
Yeah,
they found out after the fact.
yeah.
Okay, that definitely usually
I
helps.
actually no. For my mom, I had to warn her.
Ah.
I was like, mom, I did tell my mom because I was like, because their reaction, well, I think my mom really wanted me to try for the third time for a girl,
Mm-hmm.
but like people's reaction when we were when we were pregnant with Uriah, because mind you, Thea wasn't even a year old yet when we were pregnant with Uriah. Thea was like 17 months when my second son was born.
Mm-hmm.
So when he was born, it was kind of like, wow, that was quick. Like y'all had a kid, whatever. And so
Uh-huh.
the reaction when we announced him, like the pregnancy of him, I
Uh-huh.
didn't like it.
Right, right, right,
And
right.
I was like, come on now, like this is a child, like this is
Yeah.
exciting, this is life, whatever. And
Uh-huh.
so with the third one, I everyone kind of knew we were trying for the girl. But the fourth one, I had to tell my mom because I love her so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted her to like to have a like to prepare her heart and her mind to receive the news when it came time for us
Mm.
to tell her. Because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to like get my feelings hurt or whatever. So she
Yeah.
was one of the ones that I was like, hey, just like brace yourself because we are working on this and I don't want you to respond kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But everyone else, like all of our friends and family were pretty like excited for us. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
have anything. Some of our like some people were like, you know how kids are made, but
Yeah.
it's like our home. We're gonna do
Right.
what we do.
Right. Right. I remember when I was telling folk about Amar. Actually, I remember when I was pregnant with him and people didn't know I was pregnant, but like the question would come up, do you all want any more kids? And I would be like, I would be okay with one more. And people be like, you are crazy, but they're willing to say that
Yeah.
because they don't think that
Oh,
that situation is upon you. And you just like, all right. Yeah, okay. So I get why you would want to just wait until you are pregnant because people typically have some sense about them not to be cruel to
yeah.
someone who is with child. Like you never, once the child is there, at least for me, once the child is in me, I'm not,
Yeah.
the goal is now I'm about to have me a healthy child. That's my
Yeah.
goal, it's nothing else. So, what has been, especially since you're a stay at home mom, what has been the most difficult thing about trying to like wrangle and manage for children, especially because yours are young? How your oldest is how old now?
He's 7.
So 7 all the way down to
He's 11 months.
11. Okay. So, okay. Your son is only a month older than my son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Oh.
seeing your post about him walking. I was like, my baby was early too. Uh, I don't know. But yeah, so, okay. So I feel bad saying this.
Don't
I
feel
guess
bad.
this
This
is
is mommy confessions. Don't feel
another
bad.
confession. I was going to say.
Mm.
So sometimes I daydream. Oh my gosh, I guess this is a confession. Sometimes I dream about like if it would have stopped at 2.
Ah.
Because my oldest two, they're 17 months apart, and that first like year of Uriah's life was hard. Yeah,
Mm.
2 days, and like I'm talking, but for my husband, it was probably hardest
Mm-hmm.
because he was the one that was at home. But it was hard. However, since then, they are like two peas in a pod. They
Mm-hmm.
don't pay us no attention. It's like they're the cool kids of the house. They,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? They only come to us for food and shelter. Like
Right.
they don't
Right.
really need much from us.
Uh-huh.
But now it's them. And so I'm homeschooling them. But then I have like a 3-year-old. So they're kind of like, I feel like there is a developmental gap between them, but they're
Mm-hmm.
closer together as far as what they're experiencing, how they're feeling,
Yeah.
their cognitive level is just similar.
Yeah.
Then you have my three-nager who is going through. Glenn calls it 3 messing.
uh
She is just, it's like people say terrible twos, but for us, our experience has been 3.
it is
Like,
threes. The only reason why they don't call it terrible is because there's no alliteration. It is the threes. It's not the twos. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay, it's not just experience.
No, 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 no. It's threes. Absolutely.
She like Uriah, I feel like just a joyful kid his entire life, but Anaya, oh my goodness gracious, she is an emotional. It's just a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
so you got that, and then you got the 11-month-old who's like just a complete baby, who's very dependent on me, who you know what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
it's I feel like we're in at least 3 different stages of adolescence,
Yeah.
and it's kind of hard sometimes to meet all of their needs.
Right. Because they're at different, such different points.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
so my husband a while back had this analogy of like, like a lot of people talk about balance.
Yeah.
There's not really balance. It's like more of a juggling act. So there's always something in the air and there's always something falling that you have to catch.
Yeah.
And that's how I would describe my experience as a mother for.
Yeah, I don't think you should feel bad about the daydreams. Like, I mean, at least you put some children in your daydreams. Mine daydreams have none at all. And I love being a mother, but
Yeah.
because I don't know about your situation, because I have a lot of friends that don't have kids. I'm like, ooh, you just got up and left the house. You just literally got up and left. There were no other, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There was nothing you had to do.
Remember when you used to just be sitting on the couch with your husband and you'd be like, hey, you want to go to the movies? Or
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
11 o'clock at night and you're like, let's just go somewhere. You can't because the kids sleep upstairs, It just,
Right. You can't just leave them.
yeah.
I daydream about the when the baby will be at around 11 or 12, and then I can just like I
Yeah.
can peace out like that, being like, we'll be back, don't answer the door for nobody.
Yeah.
That I mean, my oldest at that time will be 20, so he'll be watching the kid. Like, I'll just say,
Yeah.
come back home and watch your brothers. But yeah, don't feel bad about that. Don't feel bad about thinking about alternate universes. Like, believe you me, I'm sure kids will do it. They'll be like, I wonder what would have happened if my parents would have been extremely rich. They completely start daydreaming about stuff. So you shouldn't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
So, um, what do you find to be? I feel like let me just tell you my point of view. I feel like since quarantine, this is the time where I feel like people with a lot of kids like us are shining the brightest. And the
Yeah.
only say this because like we have so much life in our house. Our kids are entertained by each other. It's not like I feel bad for my friends that only have one kid because they have to be the child's
Entertainment.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, entertainment, educator, playmate, all of it. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing none of that. So, what has been the best thing about being a mom of four, and also like, has your experience been similar with shelter in place with your four kids?
Well, my experience has been that most definitely. I often say that. I'm like, there are days when I'm like, oh my gosh. But then
Mm-hmm.
are much more of the time I'm like, I'm just glad that they have each other. Like I'm
Yeah.
just looking at them, chasing each other around the house, being loud, doing whatever. And I'm just like, thank you, Lord, that I don't have to be the one.
Yeah, to chase them
Right.
around the house.
Yeah.
Like you didn't your experience was different than mine because you had kids so close, they were so, back to back. But I remember with my first one just having to be his everything because I don't there's instead of 17 months, there's 5 years between my
Oh,
first
wow.
and the twins. But what I learned very quickly, excuse me, with having twins was that, oh my God, they play with each other. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, this is because I just remember like I had to give Marcus, my son Marcus, 15 minutes of playtime with me in order to be able to steal 30 minutes to get something done of my own. And then I was expecting that with the twins, and then all of a sudden it was just like, oh no, they
Yeah.
kicking it with each other. I
Yeah.
ain't gonna do that. Okay, all right. Mm-mm. Um, it. What do you feel like? Because a lot of people, this is the one thing that I get a lot of times, and I'm not sure if you get it because you said you have enough friends that have a lot of kids. People say, "I don't know how you do it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how you do it. How do you do
By the grace of God. You know
it?"
what's funny is my friends don't say it as much as strangers in passing.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Uh-huh.
like for example, today I just needed to change the scenery, and I am one of those people that you were talking earlier about how you feel like you're going on empty. For
Mm-hmm.
me to refuel my tank, I have to be in nature. So
Oh, okay.
today by myself, I took my four kids and I went to the beach by
Mm-hmm.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
And people are looking at me like, oh my gosh, like they don't ever see Uzi, like they don't ever see the baby. But then when I pull the baby out, they're like, oh my
Oh,
goodness, there's
right.
four of
Right. They're dying.
them.
Yeah.
Then I get so many compliments about like, oh my goodness, they're well behaved, and I be thinking like,
What I,
are they well behaved? Because it's like I feel like they're all over the place, but it's a compliment. I'll take it. I'll
yeah,
take it.
yeah,
But I don't know how I do. I don't know. I feel like um yeah, I don't know. I don't really have an answer for that one. I really do feel like it's just the Lord's grace.
yeah. Uh-huh. Do you
One moment at a
do you feel like there's something in you? Because if you all had said the number four prior to having kids, what's that in you? Because some people just wouldn't dare. Like the thought of four, some people just the thought of one child makes them shudder. So
yeah.
you, before even having one, was like, I could do four. Watch me. What is that in you that gave you the confidence to even think four would be like a number you can handle?
Girl, I don't know. I don't even know where it came from. I just know that I think okay, so the thing. I grew up with an older brother and a younger brother. So my parents had three.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so I think what it was is that I was the middle child,
Okay.
and I just kind of felt like the oddball out. Like, I don't know. I have this thing about even and odd numbers. Are you,
Uh-huh.
you know how, I don't know if it's because I'm a mathematician or what, but like when you turn
Mm-hmm.
up the volume, it has to be a multiple of five or it has to be an even number. Like that's
Mm.
a thing that I have.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
And so for me, I don't like only children. I'm so sorry if you're an only child or if you are married to an only child, whatever. I'm sorry if anyone listening is offended by that. But I have a thing about only children. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's something special about them. And I just
Mm.
knew that I couldn't have one of those.
Uh-huh.
So I definitely knew I was going to have more than one,
Yeah.
but three was too odd of a number. So I think four was more of a like, oh, that's an even number.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I think honestly, I truly believe that if my second child, Uriah, was a girl,
You would have stopped.
we may have stopped.
Yeah, if my first was a girl, I would have stopped.
Oh.
Yeah. That's how bad I wanted the girl. I've been like, Shh, we ain't got to do this no more. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean that's the reason why there was my first experience, not with motherhood, but with pregnancy was so like lackluster. I was like, I'm not doing this again. This was not what it was. I'm huge. Why am I doing this? And had he been a girl, I possibly would have stuck with that. But that's the reason why it took him being 5 and all of his babiness wearing off. Like it was gone, gone. I
It was
was like,
melting away.
yeah, it was gone. I was like, oh no, oh no. Yep, I'm gonna have to do this again. I need another baby. I need another baby. Um, yeah, I always wonder. I get that comment from strangers like you, like especially if I'm traveling and I got off for, oh, you got your hands full. I'm like, oh, yeah, but
I've
like
heard
also
that
like,
one before.
all the time, or how do you do it? And but I also because like I said, I have a lot of friends that don't have as many kids as me that are like, there's no way, there is no way I could do it. And so I'm really like, well, then what is it in me that's doing it? And yes, I do agree. It's but definitely but by the grace of God. But I don't think I contemplated as much as, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, yeah, they all here. Yup. And so they all gotta be taken care of. Like there there's
I
just
don't
no.
know if there's anything different or unique about me. It's just that's who I am. I
I
don't know.
I think I truly think it's just the mindset going into it. Truly, it of like realizing if this happens, the kids will just have to be taken care of. Like there's not a like a thing of, at least for me, there wasn't a thing. There was some logistic stuff that I was trying to figure out because of my career of like, okay, now if I book something that's out of town, who can I? But it wasn't a thing of where any of those logistics would have stopped me from having a kid, but I having an additional kid. But I think it's however our brains are set up or our personalities, how we think about stuff going in. Because were you all weighing pros and cons, or were you all just like, you know what? Like you just said, you were like, I see a bond between those two. I would like for my baby girl to be able to have a bond. It was just that simple.
It was just that simple.
And I think that might be what it is. I think that, I mean, there's
Want
either,
to know something? I hate to interrupt you,
oh,
but
yeah.
I do think my husband was thinking more so about the logistics of things.
That's my
I
husband too.
I don't think that I was. I definitely was more like she needs a buddy.
Yeah.
But I do recall conversations where he was kind of thinking along those lines, like like I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. No, my husband definitely, I mean, he was, well, was he thinking logistics? He was more so thinking logistics of labor and delivery than anything. I think he too has the mindset of if a child shows up, the child is getting taken care of. There's no like,
Yeah,
the whole world falls apart. No, the child is just going to get taken care of, just like the rest of the kids we have here. And I think it might be when people are going into it, when they begin to try to overthink and over problem solve problems that haven't actually appeared,
yeah,
that the number 4 sounds terrifying. They
yeah.
just sound like, no, can't do it, won't do it, not gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what is the number that you think you would have to tap out on?
5.
5? You could do
Yeah,
the odd number of 5.
I could. It's a multiple of 5. I
You're like, I
told
can
you.
do that one. I can do that one. Yeah.
But and honestly, like currently, if you were to ask me, I would probably say I reached my capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just because some days are just really hard.
Yeah.
But I love my kids so much that I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't like if I were pregnant right now. And the other thing is too, I have a about being pregnant. I had really good pregnancies
Oh, great.
and I've had really good birthing experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And so like with my last two, I did home births, and with my first two, I did hospital births, and I kind of feel gypped. I didn't know about home birth
Uh-huh.
my first child, and so if I would have known, I would have done it from the
All of
first
them
to
at
the
home.
fourth. And so now I'm just like, oh, I want another pregnancy, I want another home birth, like I was telling my husband because okay, so here's a really crazy. Okay, I'll let you in a little bit.
Let me know. Let me in.
Okay,
I'm ready.
so um, when I had my fourth one,
Uh-huh.
Glenn Glenn scheduled a vasectomy.
Okay. Okay.
He scheduled a vasectomy, had an appointment booked, put down a deposit, did the whole thing, but didn't tell me about it
Oh, wow.
until it was like the week of or the week before or something like that. And it was a big up in our marriage because I was like, hold on. It was weird. I can't even explain it, Angel, because I really was settled on the fact that like we're gonna have four biological children. Like I was settled on it. But when he told me that he did that, I had this whole emotional
Mm.
eruption. I was like, what are you doing? Like, I didn't even get to mourn the fact that that was my last pregnancy, my
Right, right.
last birthing experience. And I don't know, I feel like us women, and I don't know if this is just a thing that I did, because we talked about it on our podcast, and
Mm-hmm.
some of the women in the comment section just like, what is wrong with you? But it's like, whatever. But it was like, I know we probably shouldn't have more kids. I know I'm going crazy. I know that I think I've reached my capacity. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like the Lord has a way of like stretching us a little bit more, and I'm not sure if He's done. And I just needed a little bit more solid closure, and it was
Uh-huh.
too soon. Like Uzi wasn't even a month old. I don't think he was young. Glenn's logic behind it, he was like, "Well, I thought that we could healing at the time." Like your body's healing, my body's healing, and then we resume business as
Uh,
usual.
uh-huh.
He like had really thought about it, and so I made him cancel his appointment.
You said, don't you do it.
I said I can't let you. I need time to process what's
Mm.
happening, and then there were, and then it's crazy because then it was like I'm ready. Like in those moments where like, okay, I'm done. I can't have no more kids. I can barely do this. Yada yada yada. I was like, schedule the appointment. Can you schedule the appointment? He
Uh-huh.
never scheduled the appointment. We not rescheduled that joker. And I don't know. I think he knows he needs to like follow up with that, but
Uh-huh.
I think that there is an element, like there's little possibility
Yeah.
we
W-
would be open to another one for
Well,
sure.
you're so young. So yeah, you might end up with another one in the oven. I speaking of mourning, I did. I boo-hoo cried leaving the hospital at the thought of not just that being my last baby, but me being out of my baby making years. Like that's like it's a
Interesting.
portion of your life, and it's only, unlike men, we have a window. And
Yeah.
not that I'm not fertile anymore, but I knew that I was deciding I'm going to close the window on my for myself instead of letting Mother Nature close the window.
Yeah.
Now I didn't get I didn't get myself my tubes tied, but my husband did. He did go ahead and get it. It took him a minute to get it done. I was like, sir, if we end up with this fifth baby, you're going to be more pissed than me. I can tell you that right now. You're going to be heated. But I
Yeah.
know even for him, I mean, it was some like, stereotypical machismo that didn't want him to get
Yeah.
a vasectomy. But I think even for him, there was a little bit of like, I am no longer going to be producing any more offspring. And I
Yeah.
didn't know that going into having kids that I would have that feeling of, wow, this is the last time I will be rolled out of a hospital
Yeah.
with a new baby that I didn't know what he looked like, didn't know, like for Amar, didn't know what his gender was going to be.
Yeah.
Like this is like, oh, I did not know how sad I was going to be, and I just cried all the way home. So I can understand, like, but we had already made the decision, like, you're getting a vasectomy. This is the last baby for me. I'm going to be 40. I don't want to have kids in my 40s. If I were 33, though, like yourself, I could see, even if I was like four is my only one, being like, but let's not say that like I don't want to have another one, but it
Yeah.
feels too.
Yeah. Thank you.
No,
I
I do.
no, I really feel like you understand.
Yeah, I do. I get it. Not that I would be like running after a number five, but there's something
Yeah.
about shutting that door where you're just like, no, wait.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no, I get it, and I'm not sure if that's just something that people who have a like a wealth of children,
Yeah.
uh, if it's something that our minds just do, where we're just like, especially if motherhood isn't bad to us. Not to say motherhood is bad to anybody, but for some people, it is a very hard go at it. They don't have a lot of pleasant moments to like
Yeah.
really look upon to feel like, yeah, this is, I love this. I love doing this. A lot of people just like, I'm getting by. I'm getting by.
Yeah. That's so interesting because, and I don't know if you want to go here.
Let's go there. It's mommy confessions.
But
We going.
okay, so let's confess. So it's so interesting because I love being a mom. Like
Mm-hmm.
in some respects, like I often will say, like sometimes it's easier for me to be a mom than it is for me to be a wife. But I
Mm.
realize that there's more value in me investing in like what it truly means to be a wife versus
Uh-huh.
motherhood. Like, I
Uh-huh.
mean, both are, but like at the end of the day, these children are going to be leaving the home, and so
Absolutely.
be left here with this guy, and it's like I want to make sure that we are still friends and enjoy each other
Yeah.
when they're on and they're starting their families.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but anyways, lately with everything that's going on, I have been feeling an element of like guilt for bringing black children into this world.
Mm-hmm.
I the other night I was awake. I don't know about you, but Uzi be in the bed with me. I mean, there's
Amar, he don't know no other bed but mine. Go on here, girl. I got it.
I was woken up in the middle of the night, just because I don't know, I haven't been able to escape just everything that's going on. But
Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of like looking at him in the dark, like, wow, like what did I bring you into?
Yeah.
You know, and
Mm-hmm.
in the past, people, this is a strange sentiment for me to have because people have asked us this question before, like, why should we have children in such an awful world?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, because it's great. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because like when you bring a child into the world, like you get to know how much God truly loves you. Like there's a deeper understanding about God's love for you
Yeah.
when you have your own child. And then here I am laying in bed looking at this child like, I don't know why anyone should have black children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And um I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I shared that, but it is something that I have been experiencing
Yeah.
this week for the
Mm-hmm.
first time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've always known about the racial injustices that we have experienced or racism toward
Mm-hmm.
black people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's reached another boiling point. And so the grievance, I don't know, this time it hit harder than other times.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know that this is a reality that so many people face on a regular basis, but it's like just because we live in the neighborhood that we live in or that we try to make this life for our children, it doesn't make them any less likely to be
Right.
another hashtag.
Yeah. Yeah. I this reminds me of a conversation I ended up having with my girlfriend. We went to go see Birth of a Nation by Nate Parker, or well, produced by him. And after seeing it, she was like, I can't understand how anyone black would have had children back then,
Yeah.
like willingly had
Yeah.
children. We're still dealing with during then slavery, right? And I was like, I get that. I was like, but truly they are like hope in my eyes. When times are at their darkest, like there's only two things that I feel hope in. Well, I have hope in faith in God, but then there's like just a glimmer of hope that I sometimes have with my children of
Mm.
I I am praying that whatever work we're doing now, that you'll see something better than what I saw. You know what I'm saying? As an adult,
Yeah.
but I do get it. Like it's it's like, dang, there's no way I can make this world um different in a way that you're not going to experience any type of like strife because of your color. That's just, I know the Lord can do many of things, but I know that's not going to change in enough time for them not to recognize it's happening because they're already here. And
Yeah.
justice and change is a very slow rolling ball.
I
But
mean,
go ahead. What'd you say?
I'm just saying, like, look at how long people have been trying to. It's very slow.
Very, very, very slow. But I do feel like when I think about how I grew up, while I have experienced several things and my husband has, it doesn't boil down to it doesn't boil down to my race and my experiences just as a black woman. Even though I am black through and through, like when I look at my life, I
Mm-hmm.
see all the colors that have happened in my life. And I don't mean colors of color or people, but I mean all of my experiences are different colors. I have beautiful moments of me and my
Mm-hmm.
husband getting married, beautiful moments of going to college, getting degrees, beautiful moments of having children. Then I have, terrible moments that you know, were defining moments for me that redefined my thinking on a lot of things because the moments jolted me so much. So I am praying that their experience in life will not be the same but be similar, that like while this is all terrible, that the summation of their life won't be
Yeah.
around this. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah.
So it go ahead.
I said that's good.
No.
That's,
But it is hard. It is hard. It
yeah.
is because you look at your cute little kids, especially because you have two really young ones, but you look at their faces and you just like, you are just a ball of joy. Like, you know what I'm saying? You are just this pure, I don't know, like yummy. Like if joy could be touched, that would be you. And to think that somebody is literally going to try to snatch that from you as soon as possible just is unbelievable. It's unfathomable because it's just like, why would it is just like, why are we still fighting this? It seems almost like 1 + 1 = 2. Like,
Yeah.
why are like
Yeah.
why is this still having to be explained to people?
Yes. What is so hard to understand?
Yeah, it's just
Don't you?
I don't get why you don't get it. I'm so confused. But
Yeah.
yeah, I pray, that there is that there is a difference, that they feel a difference from what I have felt in life. Because I know I can't sit here and lie and say I feel what my mother felt growing up. Like there is a strong difference between what she felt growing up in North Carolina versus what I felt growing up in Baltimore and Kentucky. Like there's a very so I mean, I'm hoping, yeah, these little California boys are while they are very aware of what's going on, aren't like, this is the pinnacle of my life, is just me being hated as a black man.
Yeah, no, yeah,
I
yeah,
pray not. Okay, so one last question and I will let you go. This has been so sweet. This has been really
yeah.
good.
I
I've
like. I knew I would.
I knew you would too, girl. I said I'm gonna have my own hair. I said this is gonna be great. It's been really chill and I appreciate it. And actually, your energy is perfect for where I am right now because, like I told you, I'm tired. So I'm just, you bringing such a calm, you bring a very calm spirit. And I'm
Aw,
like, oh, yeah, yeah, I can sit in this. I can sit in this conversation. This is great. You are not draining my tank. I appreciate it. So, as a professional mom, a mom
Mhm.
that is holding it down, what is something that someone, if someone else had as many kids as you, what would you
Mhm.
say is like either your best piece of advice or the thing that you anchor yourself in that keeps you like, I don't know if the word is sane. I don't know if the word is together. I don't know what the word is, but what would be the thing that you kind of anchor yourself to day to raise four kids?
I always try to make sure there's a moment in the day where each of them feels seen.
Mm.
I make myself available for opportunities to stop what I'm doing in order to be present with my child. Uh,
Mm.
I feel like, and I don't always get it right, but there is a lot of times when you're raising four children and you're trying to do this, that, and the other, where it's like, hold on a second, wait a minute,
Mm-hmm.
I got it. But I try to find moments where I stop and I look them in the face and I'm like, okay, what can I do for you? Or,
Yeah.
like right now, my oldest is obsessed with riding his bike.
Mm.
And we don't just let him go out and ride his bike by himself. So
Mm.
a lot of time, there are moments throughout the week that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make time to go outside with him so he can like ride his bike.
Mm-hmm.
Or my daughter, she swears out I'm her best friend for some reason. Okay, what do you want, Anaya? Let's just sit and play. Mom, just play with me. Just play with me. Like there are just moments, like even today, just a moment, like a couple hours ago, Uzi, I was trying to get him to go to sleep so I could just,
Mm-hmm.
just, and he wouldn't. And I just realized, Uzi is always someone that I'm trying to like put away. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get him to just like, well, will you go to sleep? Will you sit here and eat this food? But I
Yeah.
don't really like do a lot. Like with the other kids when they were babies, it was easier for me to have that like playtime
Mm.
with him. But I'm just really trying to be more intentional about my moments with each child because
Mm.
I don't know, I was a middle child. And I'm not saying that my parents did a bad job raising me, but I know what it's like to be a middle child and not be seen. And
Yeah.
so a lot of times I felt like because my brothers were getting in trouble on either side, in
Mm-hmm.
order for me to be seen and celebrated, I had to just like be an overachiever. And
Yeah.
so I was always doing the good things so that people would see me and be like, celebrate me. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
want my kids to feel like they have to do something to be celebrated. I want them to feel like I'll celebrate them no matter what. They could just be, was that today or yesterday? Uriah, I was like, Uriah, come here. And he thought he was in trouble. I was like, no, come here. And I just grabbed him and I held him and I just hugged him. And I
Oh.
held on to him for so long to the point where he's like, Mom, can I go play? I was like, I'm not done.
I'm not done. I'm getting all this.
So yeah, I think just like realizing that it's not gonna look like you want it to look,
Mm-hmm.
but knowing that if you're intentional about those moments, and they don't have to be long moments,
Mm-hmm.
that like the children will be fine. Those are the moments that I'm hoping that they cling to more so than, hey, can you just shut
Yeah.
up? Like the times when I slip up and I say, shut up.
Oh,
because
you slip up and say that? I say it
uh,
openly, and it's not even a slip. They know what
try
mama
not to
means.
say it. I try not to say it, but sometimes it's just like, oh my goodness.
Right. It's like it means exactly how you feel. So that's the reason why.
Yeah, they don't hear you until you say it like that.
Yes, right.
Like
Yes.
quiet doesn't work like shut up.
Mm-mm. No, because
When
be
you say
quiet,
shut
they'll
up, they
think,
know
yeah,
yeah.
mouth does not open back up. Be quiet. They're like, maybe if I talk what I think is lower, it's being quiet. And it's just like, no, that's no, 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 no.
Oh,
I want you to not open your mouth again, is what I'm telling you to do right now. So I get it. Girl, you just dropped a gem right there, honey. You sprinkled us with all the like parenting fairy dust. I love it.
you're
That was,
about that.
yes, them being seen. That's beautiful. That is really, really beautiful, Yvette. Thank you so much for that. That was a good. I'm gonna have to implement that. I think my kids think they're invisible. I'm gonna try to implement. I'll be like, take your brother into y'all's room, please. Leave me
Yeah,
be for a
that's what I
second.
do. My
Mm.
oldest has become Uzi's babysitter. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Listen, listen. That 10-year-old, I call him my part-time nanny. I'm like, you know what's good. Listen, and I always tell him, I don't feel bad about having you do this because you get all of the best things. I was like, your brothers get your hand me
Hand
downs.
me downs. Yeah.
They get, I said, but we shop for you, and then they
Yeah.
just have to like whatever we got you because that's what they're getting. I said, so that's payment, sir. That is
Yeah,
your
we
payment.
should have talked about that. Yeah, that's a thing. For
It
sure. That's a thing.
is.
Anaya and Theo are the only ones that get new things. My
Yeah.
daughter and my oldest. Yeah.
Because why else? Why?
Nope.
What's the, that's just not even good budgeting if you just buy new things for everybody. No, you about to get this thing he had that he's now outgrown. Have
You got
fun with
your
it.
birthday and Christmas. You better hope somebody get you something.
Exactly. Well, Yvette, thank you so much. Will you tell my audience where they can follow you and check out all of the wonderful content that you all have?
You can find me on Instagram at Mrs. Melanin, MRSMELANIN. We also have a YouTube channel called Belief in Fatherhood. Belief is spelled BELEAF. And then we have a podcast, How Married Are You? I have my own podcast, Yvette Unplugged. If you find me on Mrs. Melanin on YouTube, I mean on Instagram, then you'll find all the other stuff. So
How did you look up on that Instagram handle?
Mrs. Melanin.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick. My husband, his name is his. So when I met my husband, he was a rapper. I don't know if very many people know that, but he was a rapper, and his
Hmm.
name was Belief Melanin. And so I used to have this alternate personality that I adopted
Uh-huh.
when we were dating. I was like, I'm Mrs. Melanin, you know, like it's a really stupid thing. And then Instagram came around, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be Mrs. Melanin because he was Belief Mel.
Uh-huh.
Mel is short for melanin, so I'm
Yeah.
Mrs. Melanin.
I'm just like I just feel like somebody you jumped on that thing quick because I feel like somebody would
I
have snatched that
know.
thing up.
There are so many variations of it, like underscore Mrs. underscore
Yeah.
melanin, and there's whatever, but I got the Mrs. Melanin.
You
So
did. You got it. Ain't no underscores, ain't no little doodly deeds. You
that's it.
got that thing. Not Mrs. Melanin 7523.
Yeah.
Listen, I had to get Instagram to give me my handle at that chick angel. Somebody already had it. Somebody
Oh,
took it.
really? Wow.
And they said, "Don't worry. We'll get it for you." I was like, "Thank
How
you."
does that work? You're gonna have to tell me about that.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I got a couple people that I know in my pocket. I said, "Can y'all take them
Oh,
off of that, please?" They said, "We got you." I was like, "Thank you
that is
so
so
much."
amazing.
So you guys, thank you all so much for tuning in to Mommy Confessions. There's a new episode every Thursday where I'll be interviewing either new moms or I'll be having on my other co-hosts, Denora and Quinn. You can follow me at ThatChickAngel across all platforms, but most importantly, please make sure you are rating and reviewing this podcast wherever you are listening to it. And if you're watching it, please subscribe or follow whichever channel, whether it be on That Chick Angel TV on YouTube or Mommy Confessions Conversations on Facebook. Go ahead, click that follow so you can be notified when I upload a new episode. Again, we want to say a thank you to my Patreon that is watching this live as it's happening. What's up, immediate family? You too can watch these live if you join my Patreon, which is at www.patreon.com/, ThatChickAngel. And once again, thank you so much, Yvette, for being our guest. You have been absolutely wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, all right, guys, you all be blessed, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye, guys.